the rapid increase in interest from politicians and policymakers and lawmakers around the world is quite staggering, to be honest. I know, and people like me and you, Dominic, are fully aware of the importance of indoor air quality and what we can do about it. But that's a relatively small group of people. So it's really great, I think, to see that politicians and people in influence are actually paying attention. In 2025, this year, earlier, we had an indoor air quality event at the United Nations General Assembly. And there were politicians from all over the world explaining what their jurisdictions were doing to improve indoor air quality. And that was quite a big event, I think, but it's only one, and there's many other events. We've had many events in Australia. There was a White House summit a couple of years ago on indoor air quality. There are things happening all over the world. To get specific, I know in Taiwan, in the Ministry of Environment there, they have instituted indoor air quality regulations for quite some time, actually. So the regulations there are not mandating changes for indoor air quality, but having reporting requirements for the status of their indoor air, so that the various settings are required to monitor and report on the state of the indoor air in their buildings, which has led, of course, to upgrades, and the government provides advice on how to upgrade. And they've done it in a really great way, I think. It's actually been going for quite some time. I think this was started in 2011. The idea was started in 2011, and I think it began in 2017, where they rolled out to settings in a phased way. So they began with buildings that were relatively easy. They decided were relatively easy. And these were smaller community type settings like libraries and community health and schools. And then the phase two was getting a bit more ambitious and looking at the health system, so hospitals, larger sports facilities and arts centers and bigger theaters. And so they recognized that maybe the best way to go is, rather than trying to tackle everything at once and introducing a regulation for the entire city, that they would start with something easier and then progressively build up. And that's, I think, worked really well. It's a really good blueprint, I think, for others. If we could have a rating system that rewarded businesses or indoor spaces for having good indoor air quality, obviously that could be a very good way forward, as has worked very well for energy. The challenge there will be agreeing on or coming up with a rating that fairly and I guess appropriately ascribes a star system or a rating for all the different factors of indoor air quality.